Hi, I wanted to talk to you about pelvic girdle dysfunction today. I've had a few queries since I've closed down my clinic, so I hope this information will be useful to anybody who is pregnant and who is struggling a little bit with pelvic pain. So the umbrella term is pelvic girdle dysfunction, and this covers a range of symptoms that can happen during pregnancy at any stage. And these symptoms would be pain across the lower back, pain on one side of the lower back, more than the other, pain in the pubic joint in the front, or pain in 1 to 3 of those joints. It can happen anytime during pregnancy, so it can happen early in pregnancy, or most likely can happen later on towards the third trimester, but anytime really from 23, 24 weeks is probably the most common. There isn't really a set profile of somebody that will have pelvic girdle dysfunction, so I find that if you had a lineup of pregnant women, it's very hard to know who's going to make it all the way to the end without any pain and who's going to have pelvic girdle dysfunction, despite our attempts to figure out exactly who will. So you could be very, very fit coming into the pregnancy and still get pelvic girdle dysfunction. And sometimes you might feel a bit disappointed that you're doing all the right things and you still have pelvic girdle dysfunction. So either way, if you have it, you need to manage it. And what we want to do first of all is make sure that your pregnancy becomes comfortable again. Sometimes this takes one physio session. Sometimes it becomes a management thing that you have to keep an eye on the symptoms and kind of go from week to week. A lot of the things that we recommend are things that you can do at home. So first thing is, if you have pain, you need to look around to see what you're doing that might be sort of feeding into this pain. Obviously, the pregnancy is the big thing. You're going to be growing. The pregnancy is growing. It's going to keep going. If you're training for marathon or training for half marathon, we'd say, look, stop training for a few weeks and get rid of your pain and then gradually get back into it. Obviously, your pregnancy isn't doing that for us, so we have to look at everything else that we can control. So first thing first is to try and reduce pain through non-invasive mechanisms, because we obviously can't also say, oh, you can take a few Nurofen or you can take anti-inflammatories, because obviously they don't go hand in hand with pregnancy. So we first of all say try to reduce your activity. So you may be sitting for a long time at work, you may be standing for a long time at work, you may be exercising a lot. Again, doing all the right things. If you are exercising a lot and you're following kind of guidelines and, thinking you're doing all the right things, getting your 40-minute walk in and keeping very, very fit, that might be the first thing that needs to go. We need to pull back the sort of unnecessary things. And while exercise is really, really good for your pregnancy, it's also really important that you're pain-free. So I would say stop exercising, even just for 3 or 4 days, just to kind of weigh up your symptoms. We want to reach that pain-free point. Another way of reaching that pain-free point, as well as rest, is to maybe use heat packs. So a hot water bottle wrapped in towels, 2 or 3 layers of towels. So what you get is a warm, comfortable heat, rather than a very, very, very hot heat that could actually burn your skin. You want to make sure you get the benefit of the heat into the muscles, increasing the circulation, softening them out, so you're trying to offload them to the joints, and also the rest that goes with that. So 20 minutes of heat on the kind of more inflamed areas, more irritated areas, like maybe your pubic bone in front, or in your lower back, the kind of sacrum at the back. You could use your ice packs, so a packet of frozen peas wrapped in a piece of kitchen paper. Again, make sure you have that layer so you prevent any burn. Keep it on for about 10 minutes. And you can do that even 5 or 6 times a day until you start getting a nice anti-inflammatory effect. The other thing you can do is do a little bit of self-massage. So you can either use your thumbs and just get in on the side of the glutes there where they might be tight. You can get a spiky ball or a sliotar or a tennis ball, ideally spiky ball, nice firm spiky ball that you can even lie on your side and do a bit of massage through your glutes to help, again, increase circulation, get rid of any knottiness in the muscle. So those muscles have tightened and shortened because they're trying to up their game against the pelvis that's under pressure. Because number one, you've got the growing bump. Number two, the hormones make you a little bit more relaxed to allow for all this growth and to allow for delivery when the day comes. And then you're also trying to do your normal activities. So that all creates kind of a tension in the muscles. And like I said, some people, the muscles keep up in their game until the end. Other people, the muscles are giving out a little bit sooner. And then that just fires off pain signals into the ligaments and the joints. And before you know it, then you have your pelvic girdle dysfunction. So try all those things for 3 or 4 days. You can do a little bit of gentle exercise so you don't become totally immobile, and that would involve just sitting on your gym ball, doing a little bit of side to side. Even I always just keep the number 8 in my head, side to side 8 times, circles clockwise 8 times, circles anti-clockwise 8 times, pelvic tilting, tipping backwards and upwards 8 times, and then doing your nice QL stretch, so lifting your ribs away from the pelvis, holding that for a good 10 seconds, switch to the other side, 10 seconds, and do that 3 times each side. So they're the kind of first few steps. Weigh it up then after 3 or 4 days. See if your pain has eased a lot, if you feel a lot better, and that's when you decide then how you can layer it up. So you might be layering it up by getting back to walking, but forget about what you're doing a week ago. Forget about what you're doing when this pain came on. So don't go straight back to 45-minute walks 4 days a week. Adjust it. You may need to modify a lot of your lifestyle to get you to the end of the pregnancy pain-free. That might start by reducing your walks. You might go for a 20-minute walk twice a week the first week. You might build it up, or you might find that that's enough. You might find that you do 7 or 8 minutes on the mat just to keep your pelvis mobile, and that you're really cutting down your walks altogether. That's okay in the short term. We have a lot of guidelines that are encouraging us to exercise, but they're not rules. They apply to people who want to exercise, telling us that it's healthy to exercise, that we can exercise, when there was a time where people used to say, oh my gosh, they'll be going out for a run now and you're pregnant, it's very bad for you. So that's what those guidelines are for, I like to think, because they're for people who enjoy exercise. But if you're not enjoying exercise anymore and you're suffering a lot after it, then you can pull back and exercise. You're allowed to pull back and exercise. People like you who I'm telling to pull back and exercise, you're the people that I'm not worried about. 90% of the time this pain goes away after the baby's born, and you're the group of people who are going to be raring to go exercise-wise when it comes to the postnatal period. So what better than to be really prepared for it, to be sort of feeling pain-free and comfortable and really enthusiastic about exercise, rather than sort of burnt out and trying to recover from this pain. And as I said, 90% of the time it goes away after pregnancy. So a lot of people tell me that they're so surprised that it's actually true, that they come back from the labour ward. I suppose there is that little dose of anti-inflammatories that becomes part of postnatal, and by the time they come out of hospital, they have no pain. They've forgotten their pelvic girdle pain. So I hope this has all helped. I have exercises on a video as well. It's about 8 minutes long, if you've got a chance to do that as a preventative measure or as a treatment measure. But I think that will be great. Okay, take care now. Bye-bye.